What's going on, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of So Much
Season
Hype.
Two.
Bruck.
Sorry, I was adding sound effects.
No, I liked it. That's good. We got to keep things going here. I'm joined by two fantastic buddies of mine. I've got Bruck. He's got his video here. There he is. What's going on, Bruck? And I've got Travis. He just doesn't have a webcam. You just get to see his little icon.
I'm poor.
Photo. He's not poor. Just get out of here.
No, I'm poor.
All right.
Yeah, he's poor.
Trust me, if you saw where I lived, you would.
Okay. Well, Travis is poor. There we go. Breaking news. Sorry.
We're gonna refer to him as Poor Travis from now on.
Poor Travis. Pobrecito.
Well, guys, thanks for joining me for the start of season 2. We're gonna try a few different things this time around. Few quicker videos, and then we're gonna have a different video where we actually get to sit down and play video games. And sound like good times?
Yeah, I would say so.
All right, sweet.
Sounds good.
Sounds like my kind of times.
Hey, well,
Yeah.
only times I know. So, but before we get into our topic, guys, what have you been playing? Bruck, what have you been playing recently, man?
So recently I've been playing a lot of HOTS. I've been getting back into Heroes of the Storm. Enjoying it a lot. I bought Black Ops, which I loved, and if we can talk about a little bit later, I'll explain why.
Yeah.
Because I don't usually like Call of Duty games. And always been playing some FIFA.
Okay. Nice. Black Ops. So Black Ops, HOTS, and FIFA. You get a little bit of shooting, a little strategic, and a little bit of sports, huh?
Right? Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Mix it up. And then Destiny when you guys are on, of course.
Yeah, Destiny to me is one of those things now where it's like the go-to. It's like if I got nothing to play, I'm like, what am I gonna do? I may jump on Destiny, right? Or
if we can get a raid going, it's always fun.
Yeah, I like you said, we played one last week and it was fun. Like I remember why I enjoy playing that game. So, but
Yeah.
What about you, Travis? What have you been playing?
Well, right now I'm on a big World of Tanks peak.
World of Tanks.
Been playing that for a long time.
All right.
Free to play tanks game. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it's free to play.
I've never played it. Like
Yeah.
I always see it. Is it like super?
You should check it out.
Technical.
If you like tanks, it's just I mean, so like every tank has like a turret, an engine. Well, not every tank actually has a turret. Some of them don't.
Okay.
But most tanks have turrets. Turrets, engine. There's the gun.
Okay.
The ammunition, the radio, the gas tanks. All these things can be like damaged or like completely destroyed, and like if they're damaged, like the effectiveness goes down by like 50%.
Okay.
So if your ammo gets hit, it'll take your gun 50% longer, or no, twice as long. Sorry.
Interesting.
To reload. It's pretty crazy. But it's pretty neat. Like there's 10 tiers, so it starts off with like when tanks were basically just starting to be built.
Okay.
All the way up until like the 1960s. So you have World War II, like the Sherman, the Tiger, like World War I tanks, like like all the different Panzers. There's there's several different lines of Panzers. It's pretty cool. Been playing a lot of that, and then other than that, just playing some XCOM 2 because that just came out. In love with XCOM 2, and then me and my roommate have also been playing Dying Light. Again. Well, I've been playing it again. He's playing it for the first time.
Did you get the expansion, or is it like?
Yes, yeah. I just bought the expansion, so I've been replaying it to try and get refamiliarized with it, and then I'm gonna jump into the expansion and check that out.
Nice.
I'm not familiar with Dying Light.
It's the did you ever play Dead Island? Hear Dead Island?
Yeah.
Co-op
the
zombie game.
right?
Yeah. The developers made Dying Light, which is it's a lot of the same mechanics and stuff, but it's basically Dying Light plus Mirror's Edge. You parkour, you run,
Cool.
Yeah, you're running around, you jumping, climbing over like fences and walls and stuff, like jumping onto rooftops. It's all about keeping up your speed and like running past zombies more than like fighting them, because like very quickly you will get overwhelmed and like die in that game.
I think I have seen that. That's a really fast-paced zombie game. Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got 4-player co-op, so there's always that.
Nice.
Pretty
Well,
cool.
And also you can do the at night, like there's a day-night cycle, and at nighttime, like it is.
Oh yeah.
That you can't fight them at all. Like they'll dominate you.
Yeah, it straight turns into just like a horror game. Like if the volatile zombies, like if they see you, you just gotta run. Like there's no way. It gets intense. And then there's also like a setting, so it's like it's almost like Dark Souls in a way. Like it's like people can randomly invade you and play like a super like zombie, and they'll just like run around on rooftops and like hunt people down, and they can like shoot out like their tongue and like grab you like Left 4 Dead smoker style, and then they'll just like pounce on you, and then it's pretty crazy.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm out. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. But you can also set that to just not happen. You can set it to like completely private game, so it's just like you and your friends playing and all that.
Nice.
But,
okay.
Not terrifying mode.
Yeah, not shit your pants.
Right.
Like, well, I don't know.
Non-stressful.
Not
Very
wearing a diaper mode.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So it sounds like some good games there as well. I may have to try World of Tanks. Can you build your own tank, or do you have to pick from pre-loaded?
No, yeah, you pick. So they're all historical tanks. Like they all exist. There's only one tank in the game that the developers just made up. They all exist in some form, like whether they're actual, got built and used in wartime, or they just they got like only prototype models just built, or down to just like they exist on paper, in a drawer somewhere. But yeah, the tanks, they're all historical.
And this game is free
I gotta
to play?
ask this one question.
Yes, you
Okay.
can just go to worldoftanks.com
All right.
and download it for free.
All right, I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay, I have
US.
two questions.
European, Russian servers, all different types of things.
Go for
yeah,
it.
what's up?
Okay, so how is it on a controller? Do you play keyboard mouse? And
It's
then
keyboard and
also-
mouse. They do have versions on consoles that have come out. There is
Yeah,
like
I know it's on PlayStation 4.
I
I'm
don't know.
wondering.
I've never played it on console. Apparently, they have like a cool new engine, so it's actually one of the few games that actually can say that it actually like looks and sounds better, because it actually does, than the PC version.
And then
Yeah.
second question, real quick. Is it pay to win, or does it feel like it's pay to win?
I mean, it's okay, man.
Uh-oh, I
Yeah,
just
we
opened
Well,
up a big
no.
old can.
So what it is, like, if you pay money, like I do actually pay money into the game. Like I have premium account, which basically means you get 50% more credits and XP per game.
Okay.
And you need credits to buy the tank, and you need XP to unlock the tank. So they have it set up to where you can't just buy a tank and you can't just pay and like get a tier 10 tank. Like you actually have to play the game. Like there is a really steep learning curve in learning like the armor values of tanks, like whether your gun will be able to penetrate the tank that you're shooting at, how to angle your tank to use armor effectively. Like the shot and the armor like physics in this game is actually like super in depth, and it's one of the most complicated and sophisticated like gun mechanics I've ever seen, like just in any game ever. Like not just even talking about a tank game. But yeah, it's like if your tank is facing them head on, it might penetrate, but if their tank is angled a little bit, like at a slant, like a slash on the keyboard, a backslash, like your shot might not penetrate. It might bounce off and just
Interesting.
ricochet off into the hill or something.
Wow.
Super in depth.
All right.
And here I go, just rambling on about tanks.
No,
again.
I think you've sold me. I'm at least going to check out World of Tanks.
You should. I will definitely play with you.
All right.
I have tanks of all tiers, and I will
Let's do it.
impart what knowledge I can upon you.
So I mean, I'm excited now. I'm about to be shooting tanks. I'm gonna be rocking them Panzers, whatever it may be. But let's talk about paying for beta access or alpha access or even early access. What are you guys' thoughts around this? Is it something you like, or like? Hey, I'm just gonna leave it as that. Well, Bruck, you want to start us off on that one?
Yeah, I definitely have a strong opinion,
All
but
right.
only because I have one experience, and
Go
it
for
was DayZ.
Mm.
And all right, so what is like $39.99 for alpha,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Still in alpha, like 5 years later. What is it
Mhm.
now? Like,
it. So all right, so here's the thing. It was incredibly glitchy and not optimized, so it was like really hard on your computer when it didn't have to be.
hmm
But I had some experiences, and so I probably got my money's worth, but it wasn't a finished game, and
it's
so
still not. It's nowhere near finished still.
Right.
yeah, I haven't touched it, and well, it's kind of gotten it lost its freshness, you know. Uh, it's
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's
It's
one of those social games for sure.
Mhm.
Like, is this guy gonna handcuff me and feed me like a
train
rotten
cleaner.
banana, or is he gonna like give me a gun, or are we gonna like go like, you know,
Don't delude yourself. He's just gonna shoot you in the face.
yeah, kill on sight, exactly, and that's what it became. Like I remember going around and being like, hey, friendly, and being like, hey man, like let's go
Gun
team
down.
up, yeah, like,
Oh, those were the worst. The people are like, yeah, we can totally team up, and then they just lead
and
you
then
off into
you
the
like,
woods and just execute you.
yeah,
Cool,
or
man.
take
Thanks.
take a fire extinguisher, like put your fire extinguisher down, dude. Like, oh, sorry, what key puts my fire extinguisher down? And then they like bash you over the head. Like, that's awesome. Like, I love that kind of shit.
It sounds to me like
It's like,
it's going to be a lot like the division's coming out next week, and it may even be out when this video's out, depending on when I get around to putting it up. But I mean, the Dark Zone is just like, when I was playing it, it was everybody shoot everybody, just like, you try to take my loot, just kill everybody. So
so, all right.
I'm
So
with
I
you.
think probably the biggest mechanic that made that so awesome was proxy chat. And proxy chat adds such a great dynamic to any kind of like area like that.
I think the division has proxy chat, like,
Okay.
so
If it does, then
it
that'll
does.
be amazing.
What's really cool about
I
it is,
slacked on it. I never made it to the dark zone, so I don't know.
so I'll tell you this: what I actually, from playing it on, granted, because you can get it on PC, Xbox, and PS4, but what I liked is on PS4, proxy chat came from the controller microphone.
Ooh, that's cool. I like it.
So like, I was like hearing this stuff while I was playing. I was like, "Wait, it's coming." Yep, I can hear them through my controller. I was like, "That's so wild." So
That's pretty cool, honestly.
yeah,
I didn't even
Yeah.
know about that.
again, and I think it's things like that for me that kind of have sold me on getting games on PlayStation over others. Is if they leverage what the consoles got, it's a great experience, right? Um, but yeah, so back to it. You said like you got
Oh
alpha
yeah.
access,
So
right? But
so it was cool, and maybe I got $40 worth of a game,
okay,
but I feel screwed, and I feel like it's kind of up from the company perspective to give me a half-finished game and then never finish it.
right.
You know, the game is great. Like, freaking make it right. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and also it loses its freshness, I guess, when you play it through alpha and play through all the bugs, and then it's like you're already kind of halfway done with it by the time it gets like a final finish.
Sure. I
Kind
mean,
of like, I feel like Overwatch. I've seen so much Overwatch and I've wanted to play it so bad,
mm-hmm.
and I never got into the beta, and I'm not really that interested in it. I will still play it, of course, because I love Team Fortress 2 and it's totally Team Fortress 2,
Oh yeah,
but I'm not as excited as I was. So
that's
maybe
fair.
they overextended the hype.
Well, but so that's an example of a game that doesn't have a way for you to buy into the beta, right? Or the
Right.
alpha. And
And that game is so good right now. It's like a finished game,
it
you know?
right, but I think that's the thing for me is like, where's that line? Because whereas DayZ is an alpha, and you're playing it, and you're where's that threshold for me that like, okay, like it's been a year, I'm not seeing the progress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even games like that are eventually going to be free to play. So like if you look at games like Dota, like you could buy your way into the beta for like $40, but when the game came out, it was like officially came out. It was
Wait,
free.
could you?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought it was all invite.
For a long time it was invite, but then remember they added there was two ways to get in. There was the Steam store, or I'm sorry,
You could buy.
you could buy keys through that, so you could sell them through that, or you could buy like their I can't remember, it was like a starter package when they opened like the Dota 2 store. And
Yeah, you're right.
So again, like.
But then they just opened it up to everybody and just went completely free to play.
Right, but that was like their plan from the get-go was to make it free to play. But it's this idea of like, hey, while we're solving some of these things and you're interested in the game, give us some money to keep it going, so you can play it. Right? I guess
that's okay. Like promoting a cause, I'm cool with that.
Right. So it sounds like DayZ has just passed that threshold for you on how long the game, how long it went before you started noticing these changes and like saw a roadmap right to the end.
Yeah, you know what, I bought into it because I liked the game and I liked the idea, and I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll throw you some money, make a great game. And they kind of burned me.
Yeah. On the flip side, I mean, you could look at something like Minecraft, which a lot of people forget was in beta, like alpha for a long time, but beta for a really long time. Like, I mean, I didn't get it until like beta patch like 0.5 or something. It was right before they added maps. Okay. For anybody that's listening to playing Minecraft, if they can remember that, like right before they added maps on the PC version, and like it was just like, yeah, pay $20 and you'll get Minecraft for the rest of your life, and like, and it's just gonna get progressively more expensive. I don't remember what it was once it finally hit version 1.0 and actually release what it was, like $25 or $30 or something.
Right.
But like, I've put like at least 1,000 hours into Minecraft.
Wow.
Over the years, and it's just like, that's just I think it depends on what it costs over what they're offering and how often they are actually updating the game. How often, like if they have a clear roadmap, which Minecraft did, it makes obviously a big difference. If they're just like, yep, we're just going to be adding things based on what people like want and stuff, like it just seems like it's bound to not ever going to meet anybody's expectations.
Well, so with DayZ, it was like really basic stuff, like clipping, or you go up some stairs
and just fall through them,
and you die. And for a game where like you spend 45 minutes running through a forest and eating oranges, and then you die, like that's a big deal.
Right.
Like this isn't like a normal first-person shooter or whatever where you respawn all the time and you have all your gear. Like you spend a long time gathering your gear, and then you just get glitched and die. Yeah, just like. Oh.
Yeah, so I'm with it. So let me ask you this, Brooke. Are you do you believe that they should, games should have kind of that way for people to access it, or like, for example, Overwatch? Would so many people want to buy in? Would it be a terrible idea? Like in kind of, would it just basically be early access?
I would buy into it.
So okay, so you're still willing to pay for early access?
But I'm a Blizzard fanboy. I'm not gonna lie. Like I trust those guys.
Sure.
So
fair enough.
I spent way too much of my college life playing Blizzard games.
I think a lot of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was all about that Diablo 2 back in the day.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
Oh man.
Hardcore only. And
that's how I play. That's how I play Diablo 3 now. Hardcore only.
Really,
dude. Lag spikes. I'm getting sweaty palms right now. That seriously, I remember yelling into my pillow when my Mephisto magic fine sorceress died, that she was just running like nightmare runs.
Ugh, that's. I've had a few Diablo 3 hardcore guys die, and it's due to lag, and I've I've put Diablo 3 down for a while because of it.
It's
Oh,
the only
man.
thing that seriously you like feel your pulse, and it's like so hard.
I like it though because it makes every encounter meaningful. It's like,
Yeah.
or not the lag like necessarily, but just like the fact that once this character dies, like they're done. It makes like, because sometimes like you'll come across like a set of blue mobs or like a yellow boss, and it's like they have some really nasty looking procs,
Moss,
yeah, mods,
yeah.
and like ooh, like fighting this is gonna be a pain. Like, am I gonna be able to
Well,
like
and
come on top of this? Like,
lag's part of the game, man. You got to build your character so he's like lag proof, you know.
yeah, super tanky.
So it's
All
like
about
totally,
super tanky,
yeah,
hardcore.
for sure.
All that's
Man,
sustain build.
I might have to get the expansion.
That may be another one we have to play. Is we may all have to start characters and just slowly go.
On Diablo, I would be down for that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Sure.
totally. So I played Diablo 3 and I thought it sucked because I was playing by myself the whole time. The best part of it was like you just join a game and call it like a Mephisto run.
Yeah.
And everyone joins up and you go do Mephisto. Or
Yep.
what's it called? Baal runs. And you
Yeah.
just all level up on Baal
Which is
runs.
Balin. Basket Balin.
Yeah. Dude, totally. Let's do it.
All right. Well, it sounds like we got some good options games. But let's finish wrapping up our topic, and then we'll get to gaming. Travis, what any final thoughts on like early access type of games? Like, are you for them? Are you against them? Like,
I mean, well, I have several in my Steam list, just glancing at it. So I would at some point say I'm obviously for it, but I think overall it just depends on, it's a complicated kind of thing. It depends on who's putting it out, what their record is. If it's something like Blizzard with Overwatch, if it was like a pay to enter, like I'm sure everyone would be all over it still, because everyone is all over it. Like people still want to play it, and it's still invite only as far as I'm aware.
Yep.
But or if it's some company that's just starting, this is their first kind of thing. If it depends on what they currently have out, like how much of a game they have, and like what the foundation is, and what they, and then also if they have a plan, like a roadmap, like we want to do this by Q1, you want to have this implemented by Q2,
right?
And constant communication, I think, is also a big thing. Like I understand like delays happen, like stuff, real life shit
comes up,
right. Things are more complicated than they, a blog post can really explain. That's fine, but I still want that blog post explaining like, hey, this isn't going to be happening this month.
Right.
We're sorry about it. This is why, like, we're working to overcome these problems, and we're still dedicated to bring you the best game we could possibly bring you, kind of shit. And a lot of companies don't do that, and it's just like, it's easy to see why people get burned on early access. But yeah, I had a lot of games that have come out, like Sunless Sea, Wasteland 2, Killing Floor 2. I have is still early access. But I think those would all be good examples of games that in early access that work.
That have done
they had a functioning base, like a fully playable game, more or less. Like Killing Floor, like didn't have too many maps, but that's okay because the maps they have, like the gameplay they have, is solid. It's fun, but like I said, it's a big thing. There's a lot of facets to it.
The core is there. They just need to add more like replayability and content to it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I think you summed it up. I mean,
I think
if it's a startup company, it's all in good faith. You might get burned. You know what? I used to give
it's a mini investment
money to this bum all the time, and one time I didn't have money for him, and he said you, and it turned me rotten to all homeless people. And I don't have money anymore. Darn homeless guy. I know that's a weird analogy. I know it's weird. I'm going out on a limb, but
no, I like it.
It's like, so.
I feel you.
I think it's a good platform for startup companies, as long as they come through and finish it out.
Yeah.
DayZ hasn't.
Hopefully they will. The thing for me though is I need some uniformed like labeling. I think it would really help out a lot, right? Like quit calling everything a beta Quit calling,
Yeah,
quit calling everything an alpha. Like,
I
make.
feel like that's a big deal. They're
I
Yeah,
think that needs
they're
to be
calling
uniform.
everything's a beta, everything's an alpha.
Everything's beta,
Well,
everything's
I mean,
alpha, early
It's a
access.
marketing. It almost feels like a marketing tool instead of what it actually was like
what it
truly
actually
intended
is,
for.
what it actually
Yeah.
is. Yeah, like this function or the state of the game, like development that it's in. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Like it totally is. Just seems like a marketing scheme now. Like
Yeah.
beta,
Well,
beta almost is
over
like synonymous. Can't talk. Synonymous with early access.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people are.
It's even more. I think it's even worse. It's beta means I can play it soon. I can play
Yeah.
it now.
I can play it now. Yeah.
Right. I can play it right now. Alpha's like, holy smokes, I'll be the first to play it now. Right?
Yeah.
And I get it. I get it. You're right. It's probably marketing, but in my mind, it's like we need to slap marketing and be like, no, we need to uniform the names of these things, right? Alpha, maybe alphas are invite only. Maybe betas are invite only, right? And then it's public betas because we've heard that phrase before. Like that's my
Sure.
mind of, hey, buy into the public beta, right? Again, whatever that terminology is, somebody's got to step up to the plate and be like, whether that's like Microsoft or Steam or Sony. Who, granted, I think they may all need to come up with their own terminology for their respective ecosystems.
Happen.
But that's my pitch is that way you won't get people as burned or like, hey, maybe some of it's like pay to continue development, right? Like call it what it is. Like, hey, we'll give you access to the game so we can continue to develop it.
True. That's good.
Yeah. I would kind of agree with that.
I would compare what you're trying to say to season passes and where that's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they're totally freaking pulling up, taking us by our ankles and shaking us out and freaking stealing our lunch money.
I know.
They are just they got us, man. And it's bullshit because we all buy into it. As much as we talk about how much we hate it, we still buy it.
You buy it for the games that you love, right?
Battlefront 2, man.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it. I played the beta and I was like, okay, this is gonna be old in like 10 minutes.
Right.
But I mean that's a perfect example of like great game engine, great mechanics, great everything, completely hollow.
Mm-hmm.
They made the freaking foundation and that's it. And then they're gonna be like, okay, well, pay $60 more. It's $120 game, and we'll give you maybe a quarter more of the game. And then,
right.
Before you know it, you spend $200 of a game and you got a $60 game.
I mean,
yeah.
Look at Battlefront. I think Star Wars Battlefront is a good example of that. Like, hey, season pass for $50 is like, wait a minute.
Whoa, dude, that's what I said.
That seems like a game that was right for something like free to play. Like you download the game and then expansion, that's what you pay for. Like cosmetic stuff, that's what you would pay for. Like, I don't know. Because the game came out with like 4 maps, like for $60, like go for yourself, EA. I'm sorry, like I am not on board with that, and especially on top of a $50 season pass. Like, no, thank you, EA. That's just gross. I mean, more power to you if you enjoy the game, but that is just disgusting business practice right there, and I do not support that.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm sad that I bought the game. Granted, for an hour of gameplay, it's so much fun. Granted, I play with some of my friends who like aren't as big gamers, right? But for me, when I found out, like, I wish I would have done a little more research, to be honest, and I should have. But I bought it, and I'm like, wait, the season passes as much as the game, and they told you this before it came out. It's like I would have vetoed this game immediately because like what you're telling me is you're gonna cut out all the good stuff and then just piecemeal it to me for more money,
Not even like single player or anything.
But the thing that makes me mad about that, now granted, like I get it, game development is difficult to do, but they wouldn't tell you what's in the season pass, right?
Dude, they did all the hard work. They made it friggin' awesome.
Right.
Great game.
What's
And
in
then
the season
just
pass?
single player maps. Like, how hard is a freaking map? I'm sorry. Maps can't be
Granted,
hard.
the game does look good. I mean, we're getting off on a tangent here, but my thing for me is, yes, okay, if you've got, like, it goes back to the roadmap, right? That thing we talked about. Tell me what's coming. Like, hey, in the first installment of the season pass, you'll get this. You know, like, we know you guys love Galactic Conquest. We're adding it first because it's such a request, right? Like, talk to me about those things. I mean, I'll tell you this. I think, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's a trailer for The Division, and it's a trailer for the content you can expect from them post-launch on the game.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
Yeah,
and
you
it
told
shows
me
you,
about
like,
that. That's cool.
you know, per quarter, per month, like, hey, you know, I think it's a month after, like, we're going to release this, and it's, you know, the first incursion. It's like, you know, it's a more challenging game mode for you and your
That's
friends.
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then, like, after that, you know, the next free update is this. Then the first season pass launch is this, and then you'll be able to experience this, and it has these things in it. And they do that for all the installments of it, as well as the free patch. And they're like, this is just, you know, some of the highlights. Obviously, we'll be continuing to give you patches. I'm like, this video should be the standard if you're going to sell me a season pass or a platform for me to play games. So, if you haven't checked it out,
you know
worth
what?
checking out. It's good.
It's I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a video, but I've noticed on subreddits of, say, Heroes of the Storm, the makers of it completely are having conversations with the people, or you know, or the game forum or whatever, but they're very open to talking, and they listen.
Yeah, it just comes down to communication.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing we got the full circle going here. We've kind of literally come full circle again, all about beta access. We got communication, roadmaps, and your pedigree. Like, do you have a, you know, a tendency to provide and, you know, bring the best and latest and greatest, or do you steal our money and sit back and milk it? You know?
Yeah.
Are you EA?
I mean, but DayZ is an EA, and they're just sitting back, relaxing too. So.
No, I know, because they got paid so much money.
Right.
Dude, that game was so popular.
I mean, I think it's still kind of popular.
I buy EA. I mean, FIFA every year. I buy it. It's barely different.
You're a madman.
Yeah,
I'm a madman, I tell you. Well, guys,
I love it.
I think that's gonna do it for the season 2 opener of So Much Hype. Travis, Bruck, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks, guys, for checking this episode out, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.
We're gonna do a gaming episode now, and we're gonna play.
And that's my last episode.
Yeah, and that's
First
the
place,
show.
Texas Rangers.
Oh, there we go. Here, let me get on a big screen. Oh. So if you guys could say some pretty words for me, that would be really nice.
Check out my shirt.
DuckTales.
I mean, I can talk as pretty as you want me to, but it's gonna cost you $5.99 a minute.
Ooh, no.
I'm gonna need your credit card number.
Nope, I'm not about
And,
that life.
Oh,
You use your tongue prettier than a $5 hole.
Oh my god.
$5 whore on nickel night, my friend.
Oh wow.
Blazing Saddles, anyone? Anyone?
Say what now?
$5.
What?
Blazing Saddles, man.